Yo, what's up, peeps? How you doing out there on the internet? This is Shell Vaughn B, and welcome to GNC Play TV. All right, I've been trying to. That's my normal. It's my little normal thing. Been told I've been doing that a little bit too much, but you know, sometimes you gotta let things go. All right. Today we're just gonna be. I'm probably not gonna go that long, so let's get into the articles that I saw for today. All right. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the fact that Microsoft is putting a lot of their games on PlayStation. I understand why they're doing that because they're trying to be a publisher and all that. So I get that. Part of me is cool with that. Part of me is like, just it's not necessarily the fanboy me, but more so the you got to have exclusive in order for people to buy your system. Now, Microsoft is probably not thinking that way. They're probably thinking more to do with just making as much money as possible. Man, every time I close an ad, another one opens. All right, so this is on Tech for Gamers. All right, Fable, Halo, Gears, and more reportedly in development for PlayStation 5. Others include Avowed, Perfect Dark, and Blade. Blade? All right, so this is a rumor. So earlier this year, Microsoft announced its multi-platinum plans, with Indiana Jones being the first AAA title to set to get a PS5 port. Now, a new rumor suggests that multiple other Xbox titles, including Gear, E-Day, Fable, it must be the new Fable, probably the new Halo, and more are also being developed for the PlayStation 5. Why it matters. Ever since Xbox sales tumbled, Microsoft has been stumbling more towards publishing space rather than a console maker. This transition would be a lot benefit as it would lead to higher sales due to more people owning the PlayStation 5. It also probably has a lot to do with the fact that not as many people are buying consoles in general. And there has been not a resurgence, but a more of an emphasis placed on the PC market as well, as you can see with Sony doing the exact same thing, putting a lot of their more popular titles on the PC. So I think the people at Microsoft are probably seeing which way this is going because in Japan, PlayStation 5s aren't really selling that well because people are more interested in mobile experience. So they're playing a lot of games on their cell phones and a lot of stuff on the Switch because you can bring it with you on the train and whatnot. So I'm not exactly shocked by this. All right, back to the article. According to MAGG from Crossfire, who previously predicted the arrival of previous Xbox ports, Microsoft is planning to release most of its upcoming titles on the PlayStation 5 as well. These include Gears of War, Fable, Perfect Dark, Avowed, Blade. What is that? Blade. Oh, okay. All right. So this was supposed to be an exclusive? Okay. It doesn't say that. So, I guess at some point it was going to be an exclusive. Interesting. Okay. All right. If sales are taken into account, Xbox games has always done well on PlayStation. Recent ports like CFDs and Hi-Fi Rush had a very good reception. Yeah, because they're good games. People like good games. Doesn't matter who makes them. Considering Microsoft's current struggles in the industry, this could turn out true. But take this with a grain of salt for now. Also, very reliable leaker. Okay, Xstas 1S. Okay, has also stated that while the ports are planned, they are currently paused. Microsoft has hoped to get a lot of traction with the Indiana Jones PlayStation 5 reveal. However, it wasn't that well received, which led to the company slowing or pausing other future ports. It seems that even if there are plans, they have put them on hold. That probably has more so to do with the fact that Lucasfilm has just basically destroyed all of their IPs. So people probably aren't that excited about Indiana Jones. And we are in the point of any hint of DEI or inclusion or anything like of that nature is being panned by your fan base or your customer base. So I think they're kind of misreading the tea leaves on that one. All right. All right. It could be possible that Microsoft is waiting to see for how well Indiana Jones performs on the PlayStation 5, then deciding about the future ones. They probably need to worry about how well it does on the Xbox as well. But for now, there has been no official word, so it's strictly a rumor. All right. So do you think Microsoft developing rumored PS5 ports? Let us know in the comments on what people have saying in the comments. There's only one comment. Xbox won the battle after acquiring Activision, but lost the whole damn war, in their opinion. See a Sega like future for Xbox instead. No, I actually think that my, um, they planned this all along. So I think that was their game plan when it came to like acquiring Activision, is to put more and more stuff on Game Pass, which they are doing. It's like, as long as they make money, I don't think the CEO of the company would probably cares as much. Now, would he like them to sell more hardware? Yeah, probably. But like I said, given this climate, dropping $500 for a gaming system is $500-600 is kind of a hard bet. That's why people were so shocked by the how expensive the PlayStation Pro was, given how there are no games really and truly. They're not really. They have the slightly more exclusive games, but not a lot. And if you talk to your average like Sony fanboy, they're under the impression that you know they have a gang of stuff, but they don't. So uh, here's hoping that there's some change, but I don't think that there will be. So we'll see. Speaking of the DEI stuff, there is a rumor that this is another Microsoft company. I don't know if this was in place beforehand or my internet is okay. So my internet is acting up a little bit. All right. So this is probably not going to help. So Activision going all out to integrate DEI into its future projects. All right. This is also on Tech for Gamers. It also introduces first ever non-binary operating Call of Duty, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is no longer in the game. But because I think I saw an article or something when it said that they took that out. Okay. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, has been a massive topic in gaming industry for the last few months. Some fans support it, very few fans support it, while others don't. The bulk of the buying populace do not. Consider an important thing in gaming. Yeah, if you see, it's interesting how they write that, because there was like a small poll. I don't know who they asked, but it was a 92 to 8%. So 92% don't care about that kind of stuff. They just want a fun game. So yeah, some fans, and if you mean like 8% of the buying public wants this stuff or cares about this stuff. Nonetheless, it seems here to stay as more companies adopt it. I seriously doubt that. I think we're getting into the last year or so, maybe 2 or 3 of this stuff, because it is failing. Because they just had another game. They basically sold 200 and what, there was a rumor of is unknown 9 or whatever, and I think someone at GameStop told Smash JT that of the stores for GameStop, 500 copies of this game were sold, because people are over this stuff. So there's some a very few. There are a lot of people who are vocal about this stuff on Twitter, but don't go out and buy this stuff. So I think the the peak the peak of number of people playing it on Steam was like 276. So this is not here to stay because at some point these companies have to make money. The Call of Duty is revealed is going full out DEI, implementing it in its future projects. Why it matters. Many people believe that forcing narratives such as DEI makes a mockery out of video games. It takes the plot in in an unwanted direction, which ruins the overall experience. Activision recently updated its site to support for DEI. See this? See what it's. Here we go. All right, so this is the. Okay, I don't know why Chris Paul is there, but okay. Choosing matters because it matters. Yeah. Um, yeah, good luck with that. All right. So it's very colorful. Uh, Rundown 2.0 program that ensures that all future projects include inclusivity. Its main 3 points: inclusivity among employees, Activision's games, and a diverse audience. Your audience was already diverse. Games have been diverse for a while. I have the thing that trips me out when they always talk about this stuff is they expect people. It's like if I make a game, I am going to basically make a game based off of my own experiences. So if I made a narrative game when I'm telling a story, I'm just going to tell a story, and whatever the character that fits that story is, that's what the character is going to look like. Could it be black? Could it be white? I don't know. It depends on how the story that I want to tell. So you going out and expecting other people to specifically make a game design, and this is what the chick at Sweet Baby Inc. is saying. She wants them people to make games for her, and she doesn't think that adding a character creator is good enough. It has to be specifically somebody who looks like her. I am not narcissistic enough to force people to tell the story that I want to tell. Because if I want to tell that story, I will put the time in, find other people who would like to make a game on that, and then we'll go make a game. All right. And then I can tell whatever story I want. I'm not gonna go tell Activision that they have to put people in there so that it looks like me. It's like, no, put a character creator. I'll make someone who resembles me to a degree. And if you don't have a character creator, I don't care. I have no problem with Marcus Phoenix being a white dude. I don't need to make him to a black guy. Simple as that. I don't know why this is complicated, but again, I'm old school, so I was not brought up like that. Younger people, for whatever reason, seem to have this strong desire to dictate what other people do. It's like I don't really understand that, but all right. Okay. For us to operate at the top of our game in both areas, in the imperative that we champion diversity, equity, and inclusion environment. No, in order for you to be at the top of your game, you need to hire people based on merit. You seem to assume that you can't get a diverse group of people if you hire based on merit. That is a problem. That is a you problem. It's like all people need is opportunity, and people will go as far as they go. Now, not everybody, and that's why this equity stuff is so nonsense because not everybody puts in the same amount of effort. So if you don't put in the same amount of effort as the next guy, and that person is working 80-hour weeks, and to get something accomplished, why should you get the same results that that dude does when you're only doing like 30? How is that fair? All right, so company, yeah, this I don't know what this is supposed to be. Well, it's bad enough that I see what looks like maybe breasts or it's a female. It's like I don't know why you would want to put females in warlike situations because they can come across. I'm fairly big, and like where I work at is a lot of women, and I'm not just a little bit stronger than them. I'm a lot stronger than them. So I can't imagine most of the women that I meet in any kind of combat role against somebody my size. They would not win. So Bob, yeah, this Kostic said this. Yeah, okay. They need to implement DEI. It comes from their players. It would make sure that everyone has a comfortable environment and that they make games for a diverse audience that active. You already did that. This was not a thing. This has been a thing for the last 6 years or like somewhere 10 to 5 years. This was not a thing before that. Nobody had any problem playing video games. And I've been playing video games since the 80s. It's like nobody had when people found out that in the Metro game that Samus was a woman, nobody cared. Nobody cared. There's a rumor that they're gonna remake Ninja Gaiden. It's an Asian dude. Okay, that's not a problem. It's these people who you have been convinced by a bunch of idiots that this is an actual problem, and the problem with that is about you putting more emphasis on things that don't matter instead of the actual story and gameplay. People will not buy your stuff, and that's basically where we're at now. So all these things were probably set up like 2 years ago or whatever, and they're finally getting it all of the kinks out and ready to go just in time for everyone to your customer base to absolutely hate it. Narrative has been kicked off as Black Ops will see their first ever non-binary character. This comes from after a report back in May stated that Activision installing DEI officers in every developer. Now, many people have different opinions about DEI. Most people do not like it. Elon said that forcing DEI into games kills the art, or a developer already stated that his narrative doesn't tie well into the hard work that they do. So we got 3 comments on this one. RIP Activision, where there goes Activision. Funny how they didn't learn from the other woke games that went belly up. They're already in the works to destroy wild games so that casual free to play. Wow. Games that casual free to play to it now you pay top dollar. It won't last much longer. Just waiting for a couple of games to come out from other companies, and I'm gone myself. Yeah, I'm not ready to give up on that because what will eventually happen is these large companies will eventually knock themselves off, and we'll go back to how it was before. Because I remember how video games used to be before. It was a lot of small companies. A lot of small companies. You got shorter games, so it wasn't as ambitious, but you got original type games. You got uh and like I keep saying, it was already diverse. It's diverse just is not just color. They seem to think that diversity is just color. That's not what it is. You don't get like Ubisoft made a bunch of games that were of different types of stories. Like one of them is Beyond Good and Evil, which is an actually fairly good game. It's been around for like almost 20 years now. They have been trying to make a sequel to that, and they have not been able to do so because they're trying to take a game that was fairly simple, fairly straightforward, and complicate the hell out of it. Uber visuals, putting all this money into these things. It's like I don't know why they do this. Like the people who are going to buy this game are the people who like the first game. So improve on the first game and give that to the people, so they'll buy it because then they'll get nostalgia and all that stuff. Just improve it. I don't know why this seems to be a problem, but it seems to be a problem. It's actually fairly weird that this is an actual problem that they can't figure this out, and it's causing problems such as, and this is another article. I saw a lot of stuff on Tech for Gamers that I found interesting, so I wanted to talk about. Like I said, this one is this episode gonna be fairly short. All right, so Prince of Persia devs shifted to Rayman remake and 2 other games at Ubisoft because they basically taught like the Prince of Persia Lost Crown team, like They kind of closed that, and I played that a little. I played a little bit of that. That was actually a cool game. So I don't know exactly why they did that, but this is another rumor. Yesterday, a rumor surfaced online revealing that the team behind Prince of Persia: Lost Crown has been disbanded. And see what we got on that. All right. Ubisoft reportedly disbanded the Prince of Persia: Lost Crown team. Almost all the recent Ubisoft games haven't really been received a good reception from the fandom because they are trying to do all this DEI crap that nobody's asking for. One title stood out, and that was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. The game received a great score on Metacritic, and fandom praised it quite a lot. However, the game sales were really poor. It was previously revealed that only attracted 300,000 players. More players might have played it by now, but sales haven't improved that much. For those reasons, it seems like Ubisoft has laid off the whole team that worked on this title. Why it matters. The Lost Crown arguably it was an arguably great Prince of Persia game, as it featured a great boss battles and really challenging platforming. Uh, wow. Gua, ga, I cannot pronounce that. A reliable French journalist revealed that the whole team behind the game has been disbanded. The journalist seems to have heard the information from multiple developers at Ubisoft Montpellier. It was the best game production in my life. One after the other, I was told it was seen as a beacon of hope to create and a safe space for people that weren't burnt out on by Beyond Good and Evil 2. The team has been disbanded by Ubisoft, so that means that game is never going to see a light of day. The French journalist has proven to be reliable, but still, we recommend taking this news with a pinch of salt. That said, if this is true, then it is really unfortunate the team had to be disbanded like this. It was a good game. Poor sales might have been an indication, but not many would have expected the whole team to be disbanded. It seemed like the developers also fought for a sequel, which was refused. Yeah, there is. Okay. The thing about this is comment. Somebody said hi. Hello, how are you? All right. So the thing about this is there are repercussions to the things that you do. So if you put out okay, it is me, Rayman. Okay. How are you? Is everything good? All right, so gotta love the internet. No, it's like if you put out stuff. Oh, okay. So everything is good. That is good to hear. You have anything you well, what do you think about this? Did you think that the when you finally make a good game and you still lose your job, that sucks, you know? But I think what your company is doing overall kind of feeds into that. So it will keep people from actually going and purchasing any other games from you because all the other games that you made were kind of crap. So, all right, so let's finish this little dealy bob. All right, so yeah, I think I did play it a little bit, so I thought it was a fairly good game. All right, so Surface Online revealing the team behind Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. I read that. However, shortly after, Ubisoft has confirmed the report, but revealed that the team is still present and is bust at Ubisoft Montpellier. So the team wasn't laid off, which is a relief, given that The Lost Crown was actually a great game. Ubisoft said that the team is now working on different projects, which a reliable inspector has further clarified. The team has been working on Rayman remake, Beyond Good and Evil 2, and the next mainline goes to Recon game. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is one of the better games from Ubisoft in a few years, so disbanding the team behind that was shocking. The insider reveals that the majority of the developers have been moved to three different projects. However, the most interesting reveals that Rayman remake. Well, given how well Astro Boy did, I think maybe platforms could have a renaissance, could have a comeback. That would make for a better variety in games. I would hope so, because that is one of those things. It's like you need more pick up and play games. Like all this 14-hour and 60-hour and like all these ridiculous, you got to put all extra time, like you got a second job into type games is good. But it's probably why I like No Man's Sky so much. Is because you can just kind of sit there, play for us however long you want, finish, go on, do other stuff. So, all right. He also revealed that many developers are working on Beyond Good and Evil 2 or confused by why Ubisoft is spending a lot of money on a project. As it isn't likely to get it back. He also revealed that The Lost Crown has sold about 1 million copies since its release, and that didn't meet sales expectations. I don't really understand myself why they spend, like I said, people like the first game. The first game probably didn't cost that much for them to make. All you need to do is it just improve on that, and the fans like because it became kind of a cult game, and so the fans of that game will probably buy it if you just make it do like modernize it a little bit in terms of the mechanics and all that, and the visuals. You don't got to go crazy because it was very artistic for what it looked like. So just go with that, and you probably have a hit that you didn't spend a lot of money on. So the amount of money that it needs to make is fairly low. All right. Ubisoft seems to have really high expectations for the game, as the gaming giant was expecting to compete against the biggest Metroidvania games in the market by selling millions of copies. So what do we have? No comments. All right. Well, hmm, I guess no. I truly don't understand why these games cost so much to make. I don't know why they're spending so much. They spent a lot of money on Spider-Man 2, and it didn't do nearly as well as the first one did. So because you spend like and it's like game after game after game after game, but this is an actual thing where the game needs to make more and more and more money, and they're basically not. So excuse me. So like these companies are losing money. But if you lower the amount of money that you're spending, then it doesn't need to make as much. So then you can get a slight profit and you can put it towards and slight like making the game a little bit better and so on and so forth. All right. So there was an interesting thing about the composer Marty O'Donnell for Halo. He kind of retired. Okay. Okay, come on, computer. All right. So on a computer tripping a little bit. Come on, load for me. There we go. All right, here we go. So, anybody who's listen to who anybody who has been a fan of Halo has also been a fan of the music that it played in the background as you were killing the flood and taking on various enemies and whatnot. So the guy who did it was Marty O'Donnell. It is the score for it is amazing. So Elon Musk was just on stage doing a rally saying that he would like to. He hinted at maybe creating his own game company. I'm not sure how well that's going to work out, but the more people who get into this space who actually do things based on merit, because that's the one thing about Elon is that he does stuff. Everything he does is based on merit. So if you're not good, you're not getting into his stuff. Period. So, all right. All right, so Halo composer Marty O'Donnell says that if Elon Musk starts a video game studio, he will come out of retirement. The composer for Myth 2, Oni, Halo, and Destiny shared he would come out of retirement if Elon Musk decided to start a video game studio. O'Donnell's comments came in the wake of Musk being asked if he would start a video game company in the wake of the woke mind virus affecting the video game industry. During a town hall, Musk was asked, with recent flops like Concord and Dustborn, games are prioritizing pronouns and things like that and stuff instead of actual gameplay. So I was wondering, have you ever thought about making your own game studio and making an impact on the industry? After describing the inclusion pronouns as annoying, was answered, if there's one thing actually that would be fun thing to do, it would be to start a gaming studio because I do actually intrinsically love video games. And I think that if you apply a sort of AI to video games, you can really make an incredible game. So this is probably the
I was wondering what's with recent flops like
make video games great again.
Yeah, exactly. With recent flops like Concord and Dustborn, games are prioritizing pronouns and things like that instead
That's
of
annoying.
actual gameplay. Yeah. So I was wondering, have you ever thought about making your own gaming studio and making an impact in the industry?
If there's one thing I could say that would be a fun thing to do, it would be to start a gaming studio. So I do actually intrinsically love video games. And I think actually if you apply sort of AI to video games, you could really make it to some make incredible video games. So yeah, I think just generally for content, the problem with like the sort of DEI and the woke mind virus is that it kills the art. It's just like as soon as when you can see something that is forcibly imposed on the story and it's discordant, it destroys the art. And now it's hard to enjoy the story. It kicks you out of the story because you can just feel that you're being lectured.
We're seeing it in movies and TV and all that kind of stuff. It's like, let me just enjoy my video games.
Exactly. I know. Come on, not video games too.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, yeah, I agree. All right. We're running out of stuff where you can just sit back and just kind of relax and chill and not think about modern society right now with all its craziness. And but the problem is folks who are not, and it's all narcissism. It's all people who think that the world should be like them, coming back and forcing their viewpoint, whatever it is. I don't like. In the 80s and 90s, it was the religious right doing the exact same thing. It was telling everybody they need to do this and they need to do that and blah 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 blah. So it's different side of the coin, but it's the same thing. If you wanted to make something and fill it up with whatever thing that you want to do, you do that. But the problem comes with when you try to put it in everything, and then anytime anybody says anything that they don't like it, you call them all kind of name, istophobes and blah blah blah. So it's all a bunch of BS. All right, so let's finish this article. All right. O'Donnell, in the reply to this video writing on X, so I retired from video games because I had to fight Microsoft, Bungie, and Sony. However, if anyone could coax me back in, it would be Elon Musk. Give me a call. I'm in. Call me. Let's start a game company. O'Donnell shared an interview with Andrew Capazdos on his Andrew Says YouTube channel, and he was fighting with corporate executives pushing the woke agenda as far back as Halo 2. So, let's see how this. Well, I may have to go check that out, but that's like 30 minutes long, so I'm not going to look at that now. He said, I started seeing it a little bit even during our Halo 2, which goes back quite a ways. We were making Halo 2 in 2002, 2003, which was close enough to 9/11. If you know the story of Halo, it's about this group of religious zealots that essentially will commit suicide to keep their religion going. That's the characters we had for the Covenant. And he shared that started making Microsoft a little bit nervous because they felt like there could be some backlash from the Muslim community in the Middle East, that maybe this could be seen as Islamophobic. How? The Covenant are little dudes in shells, skinny dudes. They're all aliens. So I this thing where people keep thinking that they either see themselves in alien creatures and somehow it's some kind of hidden thing. I'm like, no, it's just an alien. We had no problem shooting and fighting aliens. It had nothing to do with you. And I don't recall any backlash from that. And Halo's been around for a while. All of a sudden, we're being asked to be very careful about some names, people, or references and phrases and things like that. O'Donnell then detailed how he initially reacted to this and started seeing that. And I thought, well, that's not necessarily unreasonable because we weren't trying to do some sort of allegory about the political situation in the world that had to do with jihadists and all the rest of it. Next, he shared, maybe you know this story, but one of our main characters, the arbiter, arbiter, cannot read today, was not the arbiter during the whole time we were making Halo 2. The character name was Dervish. When we had recorded all the voice, I had directed all the actors and everybody was using the term dervish. And we found out that this could be seen as an insult because there's an Islamic figure known as dervishes. So we had to change it. We were forced to change that name to a different name. So we came up with the arbiter. I was never happy about it, and I thought this was an artistic choice. This is what we had from the beginning. We were not making any sort of political or religious comment. We had tons of religious imagery, the arc, Halo, Covenant, all these things were sort of imbued with religious terminology. So I didn't see why dervish was a problem, but we were forced to change that. I could see that the bigger the producer, the more fingers could be in the pie trying to mess with things, he concluded. Once you take corporations' money, dude, it's just kind of how it works. And you get some person who has nothing to do with creating anything, thinking that he can tell you what you can do with the thing that you created. So so any comments? No comments. All right. This has been an interesting set of stories. Is a lot of this DEI stuff. I'm just hoping that at this point, all of these things will because none of this stuff is actually making money. Actually, you know what? I didn't talk about the. There's one more thing to talk about, and I just realized because there's a lot of rumors today, and I will end it on that. All right, so it's like Ninja Theory maybe making or Team Ninja Theory, Team Ninja may be making another. Team maybe making another Dead or Alive or Ninja Gaiden. I hope so, but we're in this weird environment where games can't be too hard, and Ninja Gaiden has been difficult since it was on Sega and NES. So I can't imagine how they would modernize because if it's like a reboot, then are they gonna make it easy? I hope that they don't. It's like, well, maybe they can do like they did with Elden Ring. Well, Elden Ring was difficult, but they made it so that it was not as grindy, and you were able to go back and do other things to build your character up to make them stronger to fight the whatever person who was killing you. So hopefully they'll do something like that because there was a section in Ninja Gaiden. I think the first one on the Xbox where basically because of how the saves were set up, because you had to save to a certain thing, I kept getting killed by that stupid bone dinosaur, and then like it would kill me, and then I would have to go back and start like 5 minutes before, and you got to fight these ninjas, and then you got to work your way back up to it for it to kill you, and then you got to all the way back down, and I kept having that. So maybe if they fix that, that would help like a lot. When you've been able to like once you get to the point when you're fighting a boss, it saves right before then, so you don't got to do all that other thing because it doesn't actually improve your character. If it improve your character, okay, then I can deal with it, but it didn't. So I just kept having to do the same thing over and over and over again, and that got old like real quick. So maybe if they did that. All right. So as shared on Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit by user Kikancock Lunatic, Ignis has shared a rumor about an upcoming Team Ninja title. while Lunatic Ignis shared his message on Discord, King Hancock shared a screenshot of it. All right, so they will have some presence at G Star 2024 in November. I'm currently investigating what they will show, but I heard this could be a Ninja Gaiden Dead or Alive related reboot or remaster. For those curious, G Star is an annual video game trade convention held in Korea. G Star, I never even heard of this, will be held in Busan Exhibition and Convention Center November 14th to the 17th. Dead or Alive series started with Team Ninja's first Dead or Alive fighting game, launched in 1996 in the arcades on Sega's Model 2 arcade board. Okay, so he's talking about the history of it. Okay. So many fans are concerned about the studio had abandoned the original franchise completely, while Tecmo Koei just announced Venus Vacation Prism Dead or Alive Extreme for 2025. Fans of their fighting game and action game series weren't sure if they were getting anything new anymore. It is easy to see why Team Ninja or perhaps their publisher Tecmo Koei have decided they need to reboot the Dead or Alive / Ninja Gaiden universe. The latest games in both franchises did lose steam and left their fans disappointed. Maybe Team Ninja needed to step away from the universe so they can test themselves and rediscover what they were good at. Maybe now they're feeling refreshed and have novel ideas of how to reintroduce this strange, beautiful world filled with clones and ninjas. Maybe Tecmo Koei has found someone else to make a new game for them. On a personal level, this writer would be satisfied with a new collection of the classic games to go multi-platform, but would also be exciting to see if they can change the game, so to speak. All right. Cool. It's a little rumor. We'll find out, I guess. I'll keep an eye on it, see if it comes to fruition. But on that note, I am done for today. I'm finished with the little bit of stuff that I wanted to talk about. So please like, share, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube and if you're on Rumble, please give us a follow. That'd be very nice. So later.